Hello, so today for our interactive read aloud from the Fontes and Pinnell, we are going to be reading Bird. It is by Zetta Elliott and illustrated by Shadra Strickland. We are only going to read half of it as I will continue tomorrow with the other half. Okay, so let me introduce. So this is Bird. And before we read this book, I want you to think about things that help you feel better when you're mad, angry, sad, worried. And as we read, we're going to think about the different emotions that the character is going through. Okay, so Bird. Today, I saw a bird outside my window. It was perched on the rusty rail of the fire escape, shivering in the winter wind. I wanted to open my window and bring the bird inside where it was warm, but a sudden gust of wind blew the bird away. I drew a picture so I wouldn't forget. Mama and Papa named me Mackay, but Granddad calls me Bird. That's what he used to call me anyway. Granddad passed away about a year ago. Now that he's gone, his best friend, Sonny, looks out for me. I call him Uncle Son. He comes by once a week and takes me to the park. Mostly, Uncle Son and I just sit on our usual bench, tossing stale bread to the pigeons. Uncle Son says he likes talking to me because I keep him on his toes. I like talking to Uncle Son because he treats me like I'm grown, not like I'm some little kid who can't understand anything. Uncle Son tells me stories about Granddad and all the daring missions they went on during the war. Granddad and Uncle Son were pilots. They used to fly even higher than the birds. Uncle Son says flying a plane is the best feeling on earth. Except you're not on earth, really. You're part of the sky. Sometimes on my way home from school, I like to visit Uncle Son. He lets me sit at his kitchen table while I do my homework. Uncle Son puts on his favorite jazz records and makes coffee for us in an old saucepan. When I'm finished with my homework, we sit on Uncle Son's lumpy sofa and sip our sweet black coffee. I couldn't imagine drinking coffee whenever I was younger. Maybe some of you guys do. Okay, let me move a sticky note. Once I told Uncle Son I wished I could play the saxophone like Charlie Parker. Uncle Son just shrugged. That other bird, he's all right, but don't you waste your time trying to be like him. You just remember, everybody got their something, and that includes you. So Charlie Parker was a famous jazz musician who was nicknamed Bird. What does Uncle Son mean when he says everybody got their something? I want you to type in the comments what you think that means, and if you agree with that saying. I like to draw. I'm not real good at it yet, but I try to practice every day. Uncle Son says that's how you get good at a thing. Do it over and over until you can practically do it with your eyes closed. For now, I keep my eyes open because I'm still learning how to get it right. It's kind of hard. Sometimes the picture I draw on the page doesn't look like the real thing. Other times, the picture I draw looks even better than what I'm copying. That's what I like about drawing. You can fix stuff that's messed up just by using your imagination or using your eraser over the pages. So it looks like he's been really practicing his drawing. Here's another drawing. I draw the things I see in my neighborhood, buses and trees and buildings and people. But mostly, I like to draw birds. That's not why they call me Bird, though. Granddad gave me that name after I was born. He said I used to lay in my crib with my mouth wide open. I'd cheep just like a baby bird in its nest, waiting to be fed. When I was little, I needed someone to look out for me. My big brother Marcus used to do that, but he can't anymore. Some days when my folks are working late, I go up to the roof. I'm not supposed to do that, but I only stay for a little while, and I never go near the edge. I just sit and watch the birds fly. Most people think birds fly by flapping their wings, but that's just partly true. They flap their wings for takeoff and landing, but once they're up in the sky, they just spread their wings and soar. It's kind of like feeling like you're free. Marcus used to go up on the roof, but not to watch the birds. His face would be all tight and angry when he left, but when he came back downstairs, Marcus would be chill. He never let me go on the roof with him, but sometimes afterwards, he'd take me to the store and buy me a big bag of chips and 2 bottles of soda. Then we'd go to the park and hang out. I never asked him why his eyes were so red. I just listened to my big brother talk about the sky. Marcus told me there was a place high above the clouds where everything was calm and still. Sure can't find no peace in the street, Marcus would say. I guess that's why he went up on the roof. So I want you to think, what do we think is happening with Marcus? What do we think is wrong with him? Write that in your comments as well. Marcus was real good at art. He was the one who taught me how to draw. He'd make fancy words with all kinds of colors and swirls. Marcus would show me the picture when it was done. A few days later, I'd see it up on the wall near my school. Granddad called it garbage graffiti, but Marcus called it art. Granddad said real art belonged in a museum. Marcus said our hood was his museum. He said the street was where he belonged. So this is where we're going to finish the book for today. We will begin again tomorrow where we left off. But I want you to think about how his emotions are feeling right now. And all the questions I asked, please comment in the text box below, and we will see how you guys thought of the story. Have a great day. Bye.